hey man, nobody said these things were ever easy, okay? Technology, audio. So I literally probably could have gone through a whole show and you wouldn't have heard a word. That would have been really, really sad. You would have to guess what I was saying. So what, I mean, maybe some people, hey, look, there would have been some people in this city that probably would have appreciated me being muted. But in this particular case, look, man, we fixed the audio. Thank you to our team out there letting us know, hey, man, can't hear a word you're saying. So we got it fixed. Anything pops up again, let us know. But I was in the middle of telling the story about why our schedules is just kind of all messed up. Number one, obviously, is what's happening with COVID-19 and the coronavirus. The city's turned into lockdown mode. Things are changing. Lives are changing. Everyday routines are different. Kids are home, which is a lot of drama. We'll get to that in a second here. And then just the life in general, right? We're living in something different, haven't been seen in this country as far as I know. So things are just out of control. So we're moving the dates and times around a little bit. And then Saulo went and had a baby, and then I clarified that it wasn't Saulo that had the baby because so just in case, full credit to Edith for the birth of that child. But the baby is what? How old's Amato? 3 weeks old, right? So Saulo has to be home at these evenings to make sure mom gets a break, and Saulo's doing some duty. So he's got to perform mortgage. He's got to perform his Align Mortgage of Texas work and duties and his clients. But he's got to get home quickly. He goes home at lunch and he does his thing in the evening with Edith and the baby. So we're being flexible. We're moving around and we're doing the best we can. We'll be back up normal Tuesday 8:00 here after a couple weeks when Amato's driving. Yeah, when he's driving. When Amato's Sweet 16, we'll be back on a regular schedule. So at the beginning of every broadcast, we always thank our key players. I always start with Charlie, who's a man of few words. Actually, Charlie's a man of no words. Yeah. He pretty much says nothing other than down, it's down, no audio. But it's kind of hilarious because him and Saulo are arguing back and forth in Spanish like all the time. And I literally have no idea what they're saying, but it looks like an interesting argument. But Charlie's always on the tech, knocking it out. We appreciate Charlie. And, of course, the fearless leader of the organization, the crew that does the podcast. If for some crazy reason you just want to do a podcast for whatever, man, you can talk about anything. You want to talk about grass? You want to talk about plants? You want to talk about Game Changers, the Netflix movie that I watched last night, Saulo? You can do... Yeah, I saw it. We're going to get to that in a second. But... anything you want to podcast, Saulo Rodriguez is the man. He obviously is knocking this out. He does all this entire setup. Everything is perfect. And thank you, Saulo, for everything you do for us. And, of course, big shout out and thank you to Align Mortgage of Texas. We are streaming from this facility now, and, I'm becoming more part of this team out here. We love Align Mortgage of Texas. If you're in the mood for a mortgage loan, look, man, there could be no greater time to buy a mortgage loan than, now, right, to go out and get a house. So think about it. People are going to be looking to move their homes, still talking about stuff, and mortgages, and Saulo's pointing at something. What are you pointing at?
Yeah, the information's on the screen.
Oh, yeah, man, you're good. Dude, this guy is legit. So, we're here to help thousands of veterans achieve home ownership at www.alignmortgage.com. There's a phone number right there as well. The facility is the old Paul Mitchell building right up here near Babcock and 410. So, look, man, give them a reach. Number one VA lender in the city. And as a veteran myself, I'm glad to be partnered up with these folks doing the work. And we love you at Align Mortgage. And Chris Cano, thank you for what you do. We appreciate you allowing us to use the facilities. And let's not forget, we always thank our fearless sponsor, who, if you are in a world of hurt and you get arrested and rung up and you need some help and some time, who do you go to, Saulo? AAA Garcia Bell Bonds. There he is right there. I love the handcuffs with the AAA. Don't know what's up. That's perfect. But look, Louis Garcia's family-owned business always gives a discount. So if you get rung up, go down and say, hey, man, Brock out. Look, hold on. Let me rephrase that one. You don't want to get arrested, then go downtown and say, hey, man, I know Greg Brockhouse. Let's not do that one. Okay? That's not going to get you out of any trouble. Don't say it if you get pulled over. None of that. Don't say my name. Maybe say something, like, hey, watch the broadcast. Louis Garcia will give you a discount when you get rung up and you're spending some time. So like we always joke, man, 2 good options to get out of the jail. They accidentally let you go, and Louis Garcia, AAA Garcia Bail Bonds. So if you don't accidentally get let go, Louis, come down and take care of you. We love you, Louis, and your family. Family-owned business, taking care of San Antonio. Good stuff, man. Appreciate you. And then, of course, our friend Tyler Hall at Speedy Salt. Old Tyler, he knows when you need salt before you need it yourself. So, guys, an entrepreneur starting his own company, built Speedy Salt from the ground up. He also helps us on the broadcast. and we appreciate you for that as well. Plus, we want to add in a friend at Rebate House. So we have some giveaways today that we're going to do. We're going to do a couple of giveaways. But Chris, Marty, and Rebate House, right? So this guy is an insane realtor. He gives cash back. You close a deal with this guy, he's giving you not just a few dollars back, he's giving you thousands of dollars back. He'll explain to you how if you give him a call. Chris Marty, 210-712-3632. Good dude, always making it happen. But Chris Marty sponsored one of our dinners tonight from Rebate House in the giveaway. We'll get to that in a second. And we're going to have a good opportunity here to have some fun. So rebatehouse.com. Reach out to Chris and his family. Always getting it done. Knock it out, Chris Marty. We appreciate you and thank you for sponsoring. So we always have some good times up front. Look, the world is going crazy. We get it. Things are upside down. But we can still laugh and have some fun as we're being sequestered and isolated. It is what it is. But let's start with my wife found this video. Now, forewarning, it's a little on the gross side, but it is absolutely hilarious from a Facebook page. There's a lot of Facebook pages about dads and their ridiculous jokes and behavior, but my wife found this one. Salo, can you run video number 1? It is absolutely hilarious.
So my dad did the math on toilet paper for quarantine, so here it is.
Go to Costco, big huge thing of toilet paper has 30 rolls. Now each sheet has 425 sheets per roll. That is 12,750 sheets per case. So that means 20 sheets per shit, which comes down to 637.5 shits per case. And that is 45.5 shits per day. So a person grabbed 4 cases of toilet paper for Costco, has a family of 4, quarantined for the required 14 days, would need to shit 182 times a day to use the purchase amount of toilet paper at 20 sheets per shit. Now let's all calm down.
All right, we're good. All right, look, I know that was bordering on, I got kind of a little loose with that. Yeah, it was bordering. Like, here's the border. Here's me coming to the border with that joke. And then, we kind of stepped 1 foot over the border. I'll be honest with you. There was no wall stopping us on that border. We could have used a wall, big wall, so I couldn't have crossed the border. But we didn't. We crossed the border. But look, it's hilarious. Dad jokes always rock. But there is some truth to that about, the hoarders that are running around that are like literally filling Facebook feeds, pictures of people with baskets of toilet paper, 40 jugs of milk, hand sanitizer, and it's going crazy. But look, that's a good one. We can have fun with that one, right? And then there's this one, just to show you, America, that it's not just the United States that are having problems with their kids at home in this distance learning world, right? So teachers, I got to tell you, my wife's a teacher, and Annalisa's at home right now, but she's got, all teachers across the country right now are kind of like a little bit like this, like a little, what's that guy from Austin Powers, Dr. Evil? Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're all teachers are like this because parents are getting a small taste of distance learning by creating their own classrooms at home, right? So they're creating their own little learning environments. They got to grade their kids' works. And I'm seeing these great memes everywhere about parents having to, suspend their kids and all this other stuff. It's awesome. But in Israel, this woman videotaped something. So it's got some captions underneath it. So play video 2, and you can see her total frustration with distance learning. It's a minute or so. We'll only go about a minute and then cut it off. Don't go the whole thing, Charlie. But watch, it's hilarious. She's killing it with she's not going to die from coronavirus. She's going to die from distance learning. Israel.
תקשיבו, זה לא עסק, הלמידה מרחוק הזה. באמת, זה פשוט לא, זה בלתי אפשרי. זה לא נורמלי. מהבוקר, אנחנו רק ביום השני, מיליוני הודעות בוואטסאפ, יש לי 4 ילדים שיהיו בריאים, תדמיינו כמה וואטסאפים, כמה מורות לכל ילד, כמה מקצועות לכל ילד, יש לי רק 2 מחשבים בבית, הם רבים מהבוקר על המחשבים, אחד המורים של הבת שלי חי בסרט שהיא ב8 בבוקר תשב לראות אותו על המסך, היא ב8 בבוקר רק הופכת צד במיטה. מה נראה לכם? המורה למוזיקה של הבן הקטן שלי, היא שלחה תווים הבוקר. מה אני אעשה עם המידע הזה? מה, יש לי הרכב של איזו להקה? אני לא יודעת לקרוא תווים. שנייה, אני מוציאה קלרינט ויושבת עם הבן שלי לעזור לו עם התווים. די, חבר'ה, מורים, תנמיכו ציפיות, זה לא הגיוני. וכל היום, איך הילד מרגיש? איך שיצייר ציור? איך הילד מרגיש? הוא כל היום בפלאפון, טוב לו. ישנים טוב, אוכלים, לא מפסיקים לאכול. איך הוא מרגיש? תשאלו אותי איך אני מרגישה. קורסת. אני עוברת מילד לילד. הנה מדעים, הנה
Calm it down, lower
מתמטיקה.
expectations.
הנה,
All right,
חלאס, גם איפה אני יודעת?
bring it down, bring it down. Okay, so look, the whole joke is pretty much, parents are at home doing some distance learning, creating their own classroom learning environments because schools are down till April 3rd, as far as we know, potentially much longer, right? Much longer the schools are going to be down. So teachers are across the world saying parents getting a slight taste of education for their children, right? And it's awesome. So my wife's at home. What's hilarious is yesterday Luke was Anna told him, my wife told my son, Salo, she's like, hey, tomorrow at 10 o'clock, we're going to start watching some educational videos, right? So instead of watching Steven Universe or whatever ridiculous cartoon he's watching, right? Something awesome or playing video games. My wife put him on the TV watching stories about Alexander Hamilton, George Washington. And then she's putting him through all the distance learning lessons. So my son is like, what's this world come to, right? He totally freaked out. Yeah, my wife said, hey, man, this is not a vacation. This isn't a vacation. We're on distance learning. You're not going to get 6 months of spring break. So my son, I left this morning, and he looked really dejected. It was completely awesome. Sorry, Luke, if you're watching, you shouldn't be. You should be reading the Federalist Papers, learning about the foundation of your country, man. What's wrong with you? Get on there and do it. All right. So 2 hilarious stories. We love them. Now, we got a contest going on. Check this out. Can we put up the app that says, the picture that says Datey? The picture that says Datey, man. My power's running out here on this iPad. Yikes. There's an image that says Datey. It's the menu. We're going to give away meals, 2 sets of meals right here. So Chef Jason Datey's one of the best chefs in the state. He kills it. His restaurants, his food's fantastic. Anyways, as we know across our city right now, restaurants are struggling. They're having to go mobile. Drive-thrus are open because everything's down and banned for the next 30 days. But a lot of restaurants are getting creative, and they're pushing out their product and delivering it. Well, Chef Jason's out there. Man, this guy's been part of our community doing great work, creating great food for decades. But he created a dinner at home program. Check this out. 3 3-course meals for 2 people at $120, right? That's what the cost is. And look at those meals, man, delivered to you all at once so you can have them for the week of March 23rd to 29. So husbands, if you're ready to go, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever your story is, you could probably heat this stuff up and pretend like you cooked it yourself. Nobody would know, but we're going to give it away tonight. 2 sets of these meals. Look at that, man. Tortilla soup, baby spinach, taco dinner, little Thai red curry, baked lasagna over there on meal 3. So for 3 nights, 3 3-course meals for 2 people at $120 each. Dinner at home with Chef Jason Datey. Now, the rules of the contest. This is, by the way, look at chips. Oh, man, chips and salsa fresca, ginger-infused steamed rice. All right, now I'm starting to get hungry, so pull the menu off. Okay, here's what we're going to do. You got to like the feed, right? We said we got to like it, and we got to share it. So if you like it and share it, and we'll check this out after it's done. This time, we promise, we'll announce the winners in the next couple hours. I'll put them up. And I'll give you a holler and reach out to you on Facebook so that I can give your information to the chef and his team so they can prepare everything and deliver it to you next week. But that's courtesy of Rebate House, the broadcast, Align Mortgage of Texas, myself. We're kicked in to make sure we can have, look, you're locked up next week. Chances are this thing's going to get a little bit worse before it gets better. So what better way than to enjoy some great food on the broadcast, on Rebate House and Align Mortgage of Texas. So let us know. Like it, share it, and tag somebody, right? So like and share. That's the most important thing. If you do that, we're going to give away one of the meals. And we'll do a little fair drawing. We'll put them in a little hopper. And for just to make sure and verify, I'll videotape it when we put it up, and we'll yank the name out. That way it's 100%. There's the air quotes again. 100% legitimate that I'm not giving it to my best friend, right? Like Salo's not going to be the winner. Well, he may be. Did you like and share it?
I shared it.
You better like and share. So I will make sure that we get it out there and we give it up. It's great food. You're going to have a great time next week with your family. That's the contest. Keep it up. So be prepared. Like and share. Don't forget, always put down the bottom, where you come from, what district you're living in. If you got any questions or anything like that, I'm doing my best to follow right here as well. Betty Eckert says, I need those meals. And Stacy did both. Awesome idea, Renee. Of course, my man, Ray Rodriguez. I worry for him because he's always down there causing trouble at City Hall, and with City Hall and everybody locked down. Ray, I'm worried about you, man. Just like and share it, and I will deliver you Chef Jason Dady's food is fantastic. So thank you. Like, share. That's the contest. Put up. Now we're going to get into some information here. So we're going to start flowing with some data. We'll come back to the contest and we'll see how things are going. But share the posts. Let everybody know what's going on so we can make this happen. But two main graphics we want to start off with. Main graphic 1 and 2. If you can put those up. You got them? The 15-day one. We're always going to start with some public service announcement information to make sure you know what's going on. There it is. Don't forget, right, when we get in this conversation on coronavirus, the president's coronavirus guidelines, feel sick, stay home, don't go to work. Contact your local authorities, right? If anything looks south or crazy, if your children are sick, keep them at home. We don't have to worry about sending them to school because we're down on that. If someone in your household is tested positive, you're quarantined and locked up. If you're an older person. I was at Walgreens today to pick up some Claritin D and stuff for the family because there's an allergy. Weather's changing, man, so the people's allergies are going crazy. And I saw some elderly folks in there getting their medicines and stuff. What are you doing? Whoever that elderly person, where is your family? We got to make sure that our elderly stay home and away from as many people as possible. The virus is affecting all age groups. So we're starting to learn more about what's happening with COVID-19. And it's not just the elderly and the senior that are suffering the most out of this. We're seeing more statistics that it's spread across an entire bandwidth of age. But elderly people are, we have to make sure they're protected. Don't forget about them when they're at home. Senior centers are closed now at the city of San Antonio, so our elderly at home, they're sheltered in place. I cannot tell you enough how much it matters to a senior that they have some form of human contact. If they're locked up and sheltered in place and by themselves, it can be life. That alone is life-threatening when you're on an island like that and you're by yourself, right? And we know that senior centers, adult learning centers, all these things, living centers, that they're starting to lock down and not allowing anybody to come in. But when I saw that woman trying to get her medicine today at Walgreens, it made me think, man, we got to be watching out for seniors. Even if they're your neighbor, all you know is you see them in passing. You don't have a lot of contact with them, but you know they're a senior in our community. My wife yesterday went out and hit a couple homes of seniors in the neighborhood, said, hey, I'm going to the grocery store. Can I get something for you? Anything, let me know. So this is that rally around the community mentality that we need. Let's not make sure that stuff doesn't happen. Keep an eye on our elderly community, especially in San Antonio. Yeah. And by the way, you're exactly right, because you may be carrying something, right? You may not have a lot. You may be asymptomatic. So you have to be careful yourself, but monitor what your life is. And by the way, don't go into the doctor's office. Call, right? There's testing protocols. Can you put up that main graphic number 2? You have to call and find out. Metro Health at the City of San Antonio will direct you on information, as well as calling your primary care physician and asking them what to do. Especially nowadays when we're seeing a lot of people, right, with the change in weather, allergens are starting to get us as well. Mountain cedar, oak, pollen, all that's out. So you got to be careful. We got graphic number 2 up there. Which one is? Oh, this one right here. So a couple more keynotes right here. How to help your community while also social distancing. Buy online from local businesses. Get it done. Look, you can still do a lot online, man. You can go through drive-thrus. I think Uber is delivering food. Grubhub, all these places are pushing food out. Assist at-risk neighbors with errands. There you go. Especially our senior community. Don't overstock on essential groceries. Man, that's totally San Antonio. Salo and I went the other day, went and tried to go get some pan dulce from Michoacana. Yeah. Man, we couldn't get nothing, dude. Come on, man. Leave the empanadas for all of us.
Be considerate.
Be considerate. I had to eat a pineapple empanada. What? That's terrible, man. It's got to be the pumpkin. How do you say pumpkin in Spanish?
Calabaza.
Calabaza. There we go. My goodness. All right. What's the last one, man? Did I miss the last one right there? Oh, well, leave this one right here. So who's eligible for pre-approved testing? Thank you, Charlie. So individuals who think they have been exposed and have symptoms with the doctor's pre-approval, healthcare workers, first responders, and thank you for adding via bus drivers, man. You know what? Mass transit. We're always talking about the last year or so about mass transit in the city of San Antonio. It's been a big talking point, right? For the mayor, Connect SA, and the billions they want to spend into transportation, specifically hundreds of millions into VIA. But notice now you don't hear any talk about VIA, right? Because those are mass incubators at this point, right? You got people in mass transit jumping on buses, moving around like that. Now there's questions about mass transit. That's something to be thinking about as we go through this. Is mass transit, and how do we handle that with future epidemics, future outbreaks and stuff like that? But that VIA bus driver is experience all of it. Think about it, man. You get on that bus, who do you walk right by? Right? You're walking right by the bus driver. So you can drive up and you can get these tests if you're in specific groups like that. But we know the government's bringing out tens of thousands of tests across the country, and we all expect this to get a little bit worse. But in San Antonio, we got to protect these men and women, and let's make sure we do by keeping an eye on them and allowing them to get to the facilities they need at the right time, right? That's what it's about. So don't forget the contest, 3 dinners next week. Like the broadcast, tag it, share it, whatever it takes. And we're going to deliver some food next week with Chef Jason Dady. You're going to have a great time, courtesy of Rebate House, Align Mortgage, and the broadcast. So 3 dinners for you and your loved one, and the contest is almost coming, right? So we're going to do one as a free giveaway. We'll put it in a hopper. We'll film it. And we'll do that. And then the second one, we got to think of another way to give it away. We'll think of something. We're going to do them both that way, but I think we should do something a little bit different. We should have a question. Yeah. We should come up with a question contest here, and then we'll see if anybody can go out and find it and come back, and we'll do it that way in the first to answer type thing. So, all right, man, let's get into it. We have, so let's just go right down to graphics here, man. The world is changing. So you can't, in podcast world, you're not going to get away from, in the news, you can't get away from everybody talking about what's happening with COVID-19 and the coronavirus in our community and city. So let's get some quick updates. City Council met today as well. We're going to talk about that. Let's start at graphic number 1. Where we go right there so we can make sure. We just go right through them, Charlie. Number 2. What's number 2? Oh, God. This I wanted. This is a bit. Okay, I didn't mean to throw in some more comedy here or freak you out. But last night, I turned on Netflix because, hey, man, look, what are we doing when we're at home? If you're like me, you're cruising Netflix, never choosing a movie to actually watch. Like, I can literally go through Netflix like this all night. And my wife's like, dude, watch a movie. I'm like, no, it's much more fun to just see all the available options that I will not watch. And just go through this. But put that back up. So the frequently watched ones, Netflix gives you options on what you want to watch. Like I guess it watches your viewing habits and then it gives you options. Same thing with iTunes. It presents you with things to watch. What is up with our community that the two number ones we're watching are Outbreak? There's another whole movie called Contagion, and this one Pandemic, this series on Netflix. People, why are you watching the worst possible outcome scenario pandemic movies? All right? Outbreak, aside from the fact Dustin Hoffman is insanely bad in that movie, why are you watching a movie that they want to obliterate the entire city? Seriously? I mean, the government wants to bomb the whole city in that movie because of some disease, the Motaba virus. I'll admit it, I watched a little bit of it last night. And I didn't go to bed very well. I didn't have a good night's sleep. Thank God for my CBD gummies, because that helped me go to sleep. If it wasn't for the CBD gummies, I probably would be scared to death. But anyway, and then Pandemic, and then Contagion, right? I mean, you ever seen that Contagion movie? Yeah, don't watch them. But anyway, somebody gets sick in Minnesota. Somebody brings something over from China and proceeds to infect the entire country. And yes. China? Yes, and then there's dead bodies everywhere. It's just ridiculous. San Antonio.
China. All the doctors are handsome.
And by the way, yeah, everybody in the movie is beautiful. Everybody's handsome. Great point. Chris Cano just popped in here. Everybody's handsome in the movie. It's absolutely ridiculous. But everybody's dying. Okay, so San Antonio, stop watching worst case scenario Netflix movies. Okay, spend your time watching the absolutely ridiculous Netflix movies that you can have at your fingertips every day, every month, whatever you want to do. But stop watching Contagion and all that. All right, public service announcement because I care about you. Next, what do we got? Let's get some updates in right here. Okay, woo, man, bars. Okay, 2 things here. Businesses and entities that are allowed to operate and those that are not allowed to. So today the city council met, extended a 30-day ban on businesses, and we're going to list them here in a second. You can put it back up, Charlie. They were doing 7-day increments, but now businesses are barred from operating today as of 30 days. The governor has come out and banned dine-in eating today as well, declared a public health emergency, and he has banned those down to April 3rd, restaurants and gatherings of 10 or more. So here's what is closed: bars, lounges, nightclubs, taverns. I don't know about you, but I never knew there was 4 different names for a place to go get drunk. I just think, man, go to the bar. And so now I'm going to tell my wife, hey, I'm going to the tavern. That's like not a good play, right? Babe, I'm going to the tavern. I'll be right back.
I was going to go lounge.
Yeah, and I come back, with glitter on me. I'm like, you weren't at the tavern. Okay, so bars, lounges, nightclubs, and taverns. Private clubs, I don't even know what that is. Poker clubs is a private club. Okay. Gyms, health studios, indoor commercial amusement businesses, bowling alleys, and bingo parlors. Man, I didn't know they were called bingo parlors. Just, again, throwing that out there. Restaurants and stores that violate the emergency order could pay civil penalties and fines. This is serious. So, joking aside about the taverns and bars, tens of thousands of people in our community are losing their jobs, their livelihood, their ability to earn income for their family. People are scared, more so about bankruptcy and losing their lifestyle and being able to pay for their bills and feed their kids. So let's keep that in mind when we see these things, and we'll get to that in a second. But businesses that are allowed to operate, I think that's the next one that comes up, that are exempt from this charge. Grocery stores, gas stations, the airport. I mean, dude, I don't know why you want to fly on a plane right now. Public or private schools and child care facilities, thank God. But we do know that the school districts have brought themselves down till April 3rd. Places of worship. I know the entire Archdiocese of San Antonio has come down for the next month, for this full month. So we're not in mass, but you can watch all of these live stream. This is fantastic. You can see these funeral homes, museums, waiting spots for mass transit, office spaces, hotels, and residential buildings. So these places are exempt, but you got to be careful for the 10 or more gathering piece. There can be fines associated with this. This is a collective good movement, all right? So what concerns a lot of us, though, and I think we see it, we saw it at City Hall, we see it in the comments on the mayor's Facebook page, we see it everywhere, the comments on social media. Lives are at stake, yes, from the coronavirus and COVID-19. And we all have to take care of each other because you could be asymptomatic, you could have very mild symptoms, you could have it confused for something else, and you may be transmitting without even knowing it. And we know that's already happened in our community. So folks, this is going to get worse before it gets better. You have to protect yourself and your family. Stay home if you feel anything, but you could be asymptomatic and still transmitting. So you have to be very careful. So when you gather in less than 10 groups of 10, you have to be thinking about everybody else in your community. You can still do a lot of stuff. You can get out and ride your bike. You can go for block walking. You can hang out. You can go to the park. You just have to be very careful in larger groups, but you can get out and exercise. That is exempt as well, and the grocery store visits and all those other things. But people, when we shut down the restaurants, and we get our government has to make tough decisions in times like this, but we need to be thinking about everybody who is out of work. I have a small janitorial business, and I clean some schools, and I had to tell people on Monday, I just want you to know how tough this is. I had to tell people that we were down for a while, and we cannot go to work. And something about work that's very important, and I don't really know how to express this. I'm going to do the best I can. Number one, it pays the bills, right? And I'm learning a lot about myself in times like this and my political beliefs. People can change and they can get better at what they do and they can see the world differently when we all are faced with these challenges. So you go to work because you want to make money and you want to provide for your family and you want to put the food on the table. That is just number one, the most important piece in employment. And then the second piece is there is value in work. It builds your personal self-esteem. It builds your personal self-worth. When you go there and earn and you're able to take that back to your family, when you can buy something for your child, when you see them eat a full meal in the morning. I don't know about you, but me as a father, it's important to me that I try to make as much money as I can for my family. So not only do they lose it from providing the basics, but the personal self-esteem that comes from work. And I argue that a lot as a politician, as a political guy, that there is value in hard work, that we reward hard work, that the answers to our problems as a community are not to give away money. Our answers are to help people and build the job market and an economy so people can make more money through hard work, not gifts. That's kind of how I've always been politically, and not by the government closing the gap of your lack of affordability. No. I always believe that we do the work, we create the jobs, right? We bring businesses here. We let small business grow. 80% of the people in this community are employed in small businesses. And that you can create the wealth through your hard work. That is rewarding. That's gone. I mean, and so I'm starting to see the world differently, as a lot of us are. And maybe it changes us politically when we come out of this. Maybe it changes us as a community. But we are looking at the government now intervening to step in and offer things like paid sick leave and other mechanisms to help provide value and worth in dollars and checks to our citizenry. So keep an eye out for those. When I had to tell people that I didn't have the work for them, it was it was tough. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. And I have to, you have to protect your own family too. I mean, you have to try to make sure that you can afford to pay the bills. You try to keep people employed as long as you can. I've tried that myself personally. But to tell people that we're out of work, and I'm facing it myself because my business is done. Like, I can't earn money. I can't bill anything if I don't get to work. It's heartbreaking, man. It's heartbreaking to see it in the faces of people who $250 a week is the difference maker. So we worry about our community. We want to make sure that we do things like Chef Jason Dady. We go through the drive-thrus, get out, still support your small business wherever you can. Drive-thrus, you can figure out a way to spend your hard-earned resources, but know that Americans and citizens, San Antonians, are also ratcheting back down on their own personal spending because we don't know how long this is going to go. But think about it. I had to tell people we were out of work. It was probably one of the toughest things I've had to do as a small business owner is to say, I can't right now. We don't have the work. And that's happening all over our city. Yesterday, today, through today, people are losing their jobs. Unemployment rate could be as high as 20% across our nation over the next few weeks. So think about that. Keep it in mind. We are praying for people as best we can. Look, I'll wrap up with this and we'll go on to some more stuff. If as a city and a state and a country, we don't come out of this smarter, having learned more about ourselves and who we need to be as a city and government, if we don't come out of that better at the end of this, that is going to be a crime in and amongst itself. So we have to learn how we are, who we are, and take this challenge and be better at the end of it. I don't know what that end of it looks like or how we're going to be better, but we have to see each other differently. I see my employees differently, the people who work for me, their lives and their families. I'm going to challenge you. Sit with your families tonight. I'm going to do it with my family tonight. And I'm going to say, how are we going to be better at the end of this? I mean, we're going to spend a lot of time together, and I'm thankful for the time with my family. And I want to protect them and make sure they're safe. But what are we going to learn from this? And that goes to Donald Trump. That goes to Joe Biden. It goes to Bernie Sanders. It goes to Ron Nirenberg. Every one of them members of the city council, Judge Nelson Wolf. All of you, what are you going to learn and what's going to be different? And for those of us that are involved as well, that stay involved in politics and get things done, I've got to figure out a better way of doing things too, that helps people who oftentimes, and it's not a handout. I don't think that's where we're going down this path, although there will be a lot of money flowing from the federal government, potentially up to $3,000. $3,000 for a family of four, or $1,000 starting April 6th, right around there. Cash can be coming out. That's not a handout. That's to save our community, man. That's all your hard-earned tax dollars, and everything you do is going to pay you back right now as we huddle down and survive this thing together. So think about what it means to come out on the other end of this, and maybe we'll have more talks about that as it goes along. But we must be better at the end of it. Otherwise, we would have learned zero. So challenge you on that one. Let's keep going. What's up next? Oh, my small little rant there. Sorry. Oh, hey, man. I love this one. Salo, you've already fulfilled your baby quota for the year. Yeah. I don't know if Edith wants to go over for round two that fast to have another little whippersnapper. Whippersnapper. That's like an old time too. So, hey, man, don't forget. We'll see who's having some little kids here in about 9 months. That's just a fun one. I think that's great. All right, what do we got next? All right, so, and I have to show this one too. So remember I showed a couple weeks back AOC blasting you for not eating at Chinese restaurants? She said you were racist. Well, there she is posting. Look at this. Please stop crowding bars, restaurants, and public spaces right now. Eat your meals at home. And this cat right here, Leon Story, says, AOC, you called people racist for not going to Chinese restaurants like 3 days ago. That is completely legit. Right? So she is appealing. So she is right in appealing to people under 40. Because if you've seen any pictures of what's happening at Miami Beach or South Padre, the coronavirus is legit, millennial. Why all of a sudden does the snowflake have all the courage in the world when they're hanging out at South Padre? And they're threatening everybody's livelihood? People are getting pissed about this, that they are partying. Look, man, even New Orleans went down. All right, have you seen the pictures of Bourbon Street? Wow, really? Man, they were jam-packed on St. Patrick's Day, and people got pissed. Because you're like, you are transmitting, at the very least, millennial, you're transmitting, you're carrying it and possibly transmitting. You may be asymptomatic. So they got even New Orleans went down, shut the show down. But they're still going to town at South Padre. So come on, man. Please. AOC's at least right on that point. Stay home whenever possible. You can go ride the trails. You want to know something I've learned over the last month? San Antonio has a heck of a linear creek trail system.
Oh, yeah.
You can hop on your bike, man, and cruise over this entire city. We can do that one day. Oh, we can't do that. We can't all gather for a massive bike ride. That would be, No, more than 10 of us. We'll have a party, no more than 10. What do we got next? All right, even this. You know it's apocalypse right now when Ilham Omar has praised President Donald Trump. This is a legitimate story. She said, hey, man, response to the coronavirus pandemic has been ramped up. Look, we all know that initially the president had a couple of missteps, right? Maybe the language wasn't right. He got in front of some folks and was probably, I would estimate, more or less trying to tamp down fear. And in doing so, he used positive language. And then he changed his game over the last 3 weeks. And by all accounts, the president has upped his game tremendously, and the administration is getting it done. We're seeing some problems with medical supplies and equipment getting out. That's a learning lesson for the country. But the president has upped his game tremendously. So we have to take a look at that. And Ilhan Omar, man, you know the world. Maybe she has a fever right now. I don't know. Either way, maybe she's got the pandemic.
Or she doesn't want one of her brothers to come.
Yeah. Wait, no, man. Wait. This is the nice broadcast now, dude. We're in the middle of a pandemic, dude.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, I'm being nice. Don't get me started. But Ilhan Omar liking Donald Trump, man, for the work he's doing right now. Times are changing, right? Remember what I said. If we learn nothing from this at the end of this pandemic and this national lockdown about ourselves, we've lost. So hopefully we come out of it at the end, like Ilhan Omar right here saying, even to her, right? She thinks Donald Trump is the Antichrist. Even she says, you know what? He's doing a good job. Last week on the show, I said we got to pray for Ron Nirenberg. We have to pray for Manny Pelaez. We have to pray for John Courage. We have to pray for everybody at City Hall that they make the right decisions, man. That's what you're praying for, discernment, right? So I hope Ron does well and makes the right decisions. We can argue about transportation and all this other crap later. And I'm not happy about a lot of things with that dude. But I pray for the guy that he makes the right decisions for my family because he's all we got from that choice and them 10 people on the city council. Not thrilled about him, but right now, we got to pray. And Ilhan Omar, learning lesson. You never know what's going to come out at the end of it. So keep praying for our elected leadership and the people in the city. We need them. What do you got? What do you got? Which one? Hey, man. Okay. Texas Governor Greg Abbott declared that residents can now order alcohol to be delivered from restaurants. All right, calm down. The masses are cheering. You can order. That's a beer flight right there. Oh, yeah. So Governor Abbott declares Texas restaurants can deliver alcohol. Chris Cano. Thank you, Governor Abbott.
Chris to the rescue.
Chris brought in some Suntory whiskey. I wasn't drinking this. My wife is watching, Cano. Thanks. Notice it's full to the top, hon. Look at that. All right. It's right there. My son, it's filled to the top, I swear. Man, that actually looks pretty good. All right. I'm going to leave this right here. Post-program. Oh, no.
No.
I got to drive. All right. So, Suntory whiskey. Yes. Uber. You can get your booze delivered to you at home. Again, technique. Look, the governor's waiving transportation rules right now for 18-wheelers. He's clearing the path for this type of work so that businesses can survive. Alcohol delivered to your house. Now, look, man, they're going to show up with gloves on. They're going to leave it on your doorstep, but they're going to drop that Hennessy right there. What's it? You're going to pass the Courvoisier right straight through, right, with your Uber driver. Your Uber driver's going to show up. Hey, brother, here you go, man. You're going to walk right in. Brother, did you call for a shot? Did you call for a Mantini?
Yeah. Go to sleep.
Go to sleep. Here's your Cosmopolitan, Saulo.
I know, that's amazing.
Yeah. Saulo, here's your Cosmo. Here, Saulo immediately started ordering a bunch of Appletinis. Oh, I don't know what that. Yeah, that Saulo, you got no points. You lost man points right there. Okay, next. Quarantinis. Chris Cano. Hey, so you can order booze. Thank you, Governor Abbott. And you can go to Whataburger drive-thru. The world is still going, people. The world, look at the smile on her face. She's not worrying about her diet right now because she's quarantined. I can tell you right now. You could see in this woman right here. That's pure joy. She's probably got a fifth in the right-hand side. Right? She's probably got a fifth in the right-hand side of the driver's side. And then she's got her hands on her Coke. The only reason she's buying that Coke right now is so she can pour her whiskey that's about to be delivered from Uber. That's why our big old smile. Hey, and you know what? You better be working out at home too. You better be doing P90X right in front of your TV screen because you are going to get chunk if you don't work out and walk. When you're quarantined, you're eating bad, you're staying home, you're watching Netflix, you're watching terrible, contagious movies. You're going to be fat. You could have 3 to 4 kids at the end of this thing and 50 pounds. Well, maybe not 50 pounds, but you could put on 10, 15 pounds. You can feel real bad about yourself at the end of this quarantine. Work it out. What do we got next? We're going through mad updates here. All right, I got to talk about Alyssa Milano for a second. There's no rhyme or reason to anything we're doing today. Stop calling it the Chinese virus, you racist piece of blank. Of course, Alyssa Milano is the queen of bad takes. Like she has, if there's an idea that makes no sense, that's politically incorrect, Alyssa Milano owns it. Hey, bring it back up real quick. I want to show you the comments. And then here's all these news stories down here. Because there's a big old problem right now. The president's catching a lot of hell for calling it the Chinese flu, right? And somebody is obviously creating this now where that's a racist comment. We could talk about it if you want to. Chinese flu. No, I'm not fat shaming. I'm just saying my wife posted on the dang feed. Are you fat shaming? No, I'm not. I'm saying work out. We got to work out. It could go south. But look at those things at the bottom. CDC, Chinese coronavirus. Look at the New York Post. Chinese coronavirus. There's CNN. So it's all cool until the president says it. And then once the president says it, here comes Alyssa Milano and the liberal tears crying racism. No, it's the Wuhan flu. All right. Now, if you get insulting about it, something like that, look, man, it started in Wuhan. I mean, this is where it comes from. You named it. Ebola is named after that. Zika, named after that. I mean, these where these diseases are. The Spanish flu. That's in every textbook talking about the Spanish flu in 1918, right? Ebola, before the media's fake outrage of calling it Chinese coronavirus, we named it already after other diseases, after other cities and locations like that. Calm down, Alyssa Milano in America. Oh my gosh. Spanish flu, West Nile, Zika, Ebola. I used to know a kid named Zika. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know about that. I don't even know what that meant. Next. All right, what do we got? All right, presidents come. Okay, don't forget, we talked about this already for a couple of minutes. The money will be flowing. We don't know what amounts. So I hear a lot about this, and I've got some memes later because, look, people are struggling, right? I hate President Trump, and you see these memes everywhere. I hate Trump. I'm going to take his $1,000. And then the other people say, well, Republican. Oh, there you go. If Trump is not your president, then I guess you don't get one of those checks. I'm sorry, man. That's funny. There's some great memes floating around like that, right? And then there's the opposite side of it, which is you hate socialism. So how much does it cost to turn a Trump supporter into a socialist? The answer is $1,000. Hey, look, man. Look. Equal opportunity offender. That's what that is right there. Both sides of the argument looking at each other like, where's my check? Where's my check? So don't spend your check all on Amazon. Be careful when you get it. Stock up on your food. Take care of your family for the time period you shop for, week to week, whatever it is. That's why the money's coming. And look, I personally don't have any problem with it politically. A lot of people do, but I'll tell you why I don't. You pay your taxes. You're taking care of our federal government. Every piece of that government exists because you pay taxes. And by the way, we've been bailing out corporate America for a decade now, 15 years or so. We've been bailing them out with tens of billions of dollars. A little bailout help, whatever you want to call it, for the citizen in a time like this. I don't think that's that bad. I really don't. It's your money. It's your taxes. It's your government. You put it out there. You get it back. I mean, give me a break, man. We shouldn't be beating up each other over the fact that the federal government's going to give cash out to help people survive. If I am an employee, I'm making $1,000 a month. That's how I raise my family. I lose my job, it's over, man. And if $1,000 is a difference maker between your kids eating or not, it's time to be an American and take care of each other. All right? I even hear people arguing over, oh my God, whether it's $1,000, $3,000, you're a socialist, you're not. Come on, man. At this point, you're an American. You're here. You got to do the best you can. You've been paying your taxes. Take the money and save your family and hang on to it. It's not the end of the world, people. All right? It doesn't make you a socialist. It doesn't make you a Trump lover. It just makes you in need. And times like this is where we jump in it for each other. And that's what look, the airline industry wants $60 billion, man. $60 billion is what I think American Airlines or United, one of them, is asking for, right? The movie theater industry is asking for billions of dollars. And poor Salo and I, we just want $1,000, man. All right, I want my $1,000.
Get beer delivered.
Yeah, I want my beer delivered. Check. I want my Whataburger drive-through. Check. My check needs to come from DJT, and I'll proudly post my check when I get it. I'll be there. Next one up. What do we got? Yeah, we talked about this one. Public transit. Notice we don't hear anybody talking about mass transit right now because it's kind of like little incubators, little petri dishes floating around the city. VIA's doing all they can, clean our buses. People need this transportation. Be healthy and safe. When you hop on that bus system, be mindful of your bus driver. Please take care of each other. Next. Aha. Okay, good point right here. Bexar County is halting evictions through April 16th. That doesn't mean you don't go out and you say, screw my rent. I'm just going to go for it. I don't need to pay that bill. No. But if you are in trouble, you're struggling, you're not going to get put out on the street. This, my friends, is a big win for a lot of people in our city. I wish they would be thinking about other things like student loan payments. A lot of talk of the day right now is eliminating student loan debt. I get it. People, you took on the debt, you didn't. I get it. I understand. But we need to be thinking about that. We need to be thinking about credit, people's impact to credit. Where are you, Experian, TransUnion, Equifax? Where are you right now? Why aren't you stepping up to the plate saying, hey, you know what? People are going to struggle. Maybe we need to watch out for the next 30, 60 days when it comes to credit. Lenders, loosen your restrictions. Be a little more mindful of people's lives. These things are real answers that banks can help with. Local credit unions, relax a little bit on the lending restrictions. Rates are great in the short-term market. Rates are great. They're going to get better. The Fed rate's almost down to zero. Short-term interest rates. Short-term. So money's going to get cheaper, right? Think about that, right? Loosen your restrictions a little bit. And by God, man, the credit companies, Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, people are going to be struggling, man. And that $1,000 doesn't need to go to make sure Capital One gets paid. I'll tell you right now, if it's a difference between your kids eating and Capital One getting paid, your kids are going to eat. I mean, this is pretty basic life decisions right here. So put it out there. Just a couple thoughts on it. The student loans are one of them too, man. People are, those colleges are charging $100,000 for education and stuff like that. People are struggling with it, especially our teachers. Especially our teachers have heavy debt load. When you think of people, when you say, oh man, we need to forgive student loan debt, people get pissed about that. Like, well, I didn't incur that debt. That's not on me. They did it themselves. They should have done that. I'll give you a perfect example of a group that you need to think about. Teachers. Teachers, if you've taught in a public school, let's say for more than 5 years, in today's world now, the way this is, waive your student loans. Owe it to the government. You owe it. What you owe is time working in a public school, Title I school. Waive all them damn student loans. If you took it and worked within a public sector job like that, let's waive them now. That'll help stimulate the economy. I'm not saying waive it for everybody and his uncle, but maybe you think about teachers. Teachers are implementing that in Title I schools. The poorest schools in our city, there are teachers killing it with $125,000 worth of student loan debt. They can't pay it off because they make $45,000 a year, and they'll be paying it for the next 30 years. Guess what? We don't waive that. Some of it we do. The state, none of it. The state of Texas waives zero. That's wrong, man. That's wrong. Today, maybe that's something we come out of this better on, right? In the future, we figure out how to help parents and families with their student loan debt. Next. This is encouraging, not to get hopes up here, but the Chinese province of Wuhan reported no new coronavirus infections. China and South Korea are on the other side of the curve. They say the United States is about 2 weeks behind the rest of the world right now. Italy today, I saw, now has the highest number of deaths in the globe and the world. Italy does. Part of that is because their healthcare system broke. They have which is an interesting fact. They have either the oldest or the second oldest population in the world at like 48 years old. That's how old the average Italian is. I think Japan may be number 1 or number 2. But that's part of the reason why they're seeing a lot of deaths. They have the oldest community in the world. But nonetheless, that nation's in an entire lockdown. Lesson learned for the United States. Next. As you put up another one, I'm going to drink. Oh, hey, man, don't forget your pets. I got to say this one, too. Look at this. Shelters urging locals to foster pets during coronavirus pandemic. All right, man, I'm liking that. I'm liking taking care of pets. Shelter, foster, help our smaller animals and things like that. Don't forget, like this broadcast, share it, and I'll put you in a contest. And we're going to draw that in a couple hours, man. Chef Jason Dady, 3 meals next week. 3 meals. I'm going to bring a couple dudes on here in a second, too. They're standing behind the camera. And I talked about him a minute ago. I'm going to bring him on in a second. What do we got next? Yes, we're related. I don't know why Bexar County Sheriff's Office always pops up for me, but it just kind of always does. So they're releasing nonviolent misdemeanor inmates, right? They want to stop the spread of the coronavirus. All right, I'm with that. I would have thought that lockdown in the jail, maybe you ban people from coming to visit them and not let them out. This is upsetting some people. This one's really pissing some people off. And I get it, they're nonviolent misdemeanor type crimes. But you do the crime, man. You know what? We don't need to be spreading the message. We're letting hey, man, we're going to let you out. So this ain't the purge, right? Where we all go lock in our houses and crime's running rampant all over San Antonio. I'm not sure releasing criminals is the best answer. I don't care what level it is. Ban people from going to see them. Keep them in their cell. If we are going to have to stay in our house by ourselves and not leave, the criminal should themselves do the same thing in jail. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little harsh. What a concept. But if I'm quarantined and I don't know. I'm going to put that one out there. Next. Okay. So that's Alex Burnell. He's the organizer for Move Texas. He wrote a piece here. It's worth the read. Paid sick leave has been the fight for the last year. I believe it's at the purview of the small business, at the purview of the business owner. I'm sorry. I just believe that. I'm never going to change that mindset. But vulnerable communities, we're learning a lesson about them and how they need sick leave opportunities. So there could be a lot of compromise with this coming forward in the future. The government's looking at and has authorized money into paid sick leave so people will stay home. It's a learning lesson. So we got to talk about how we help small businesses succeed. And the truth is the small business owner needs to step up and figure out a way to get it done. But we can get the support as well, right? Through grants, better interest rates on small business loans, utility rates, development costs, all that. So there's ways the government can help without just giving away cash. So we got to think about that in the future. Is there anything else left, or are we at the memes?
Memes.
All right, memes. Okay, we're about wrapped up too, right? So don't forget, like or share this. Here comes the dinner programs in a minute. Here, can we put that logo back up? Put it back up. Where are we at? Okay, this is it, man. 3 meals. Chef Jason Dady delivered to your house next week, 24-hour notice. I'll sign you up today. I'll put your name down there, and you're going to have some great meals next week, courtesy of Alliant Mortgage of Texas, Rebate House, and the broadcast coming your way. The menu, there it is. The drawing coming soon. Drawing coming very soon. And I'm gonna think of one more question. I'm gonna run a contest here in a minute. Go back real quick to, is there anything left on elections? A couple of quick notes on elections. Governor Abbott has issued a proclamation saying that counties can move the May 2nd election to November. What we have on the May 2nd election here in San Antonio is pre-K for SA. So this proclamation, right, is important. We may see the May 2nd pre-K election move to November. That reauthorization is for the $40 million pre-K election. Huge. And then our runoff elections are on May 26th. It's probably not a good idea in the middle of a pandemic to have lines of people trying to vote. The lines of people are okay at HEB. But this would be bad, so they're thinking about moving stuff. Right now, the governor has opened up a change in the date. So the counties will make the decision whether or not to move it. I'd look and see probably pre-K in May 2nd is going to be moved to November. That's going to cause a lot of problems politically for a lot of people. Pre-K for SA in November with Ron Nirenberg's Connect SA with the November ballot and an energized community. Wow, man, you want to talk about wide open and a costly set of campaigns. Things will change if we move pre-K off of May 2nd. It could be detrimental to pre-K. It could be the end of pre-K if it moves to November. So some things to think about campaign-wise, so keep an eye out for that. All right, and then I think that was it, right? So we're going to do some memes. But first, let's bring on Chris Marty. Come over here. Chris and Chris. Chris squared. So, all right, man, you guys are some. You're some tall dudes, man. You got a chair? We got a chair? Got a chair for Marty.
I got you a gift, bro.
What is this? Where is it?
It's a get out of jail free card right now. But,
Hey!
Yeah, I don't think you need those right
He's
now.
scary.
Right?
Yeah. Pretty much, I could get arrested, and I have a 50-50 chance of getting out of jail just because.
What if you roll doubles? You get out then?
No, man. They give you cash when you leave. They give you a C note. All right, I'm like it. Whoa!
Just got my check.
Hey, man, why did DJT give you his check? Come on, man.
Make America great
Make
again,
America
man. You got to
great
wear
again.
the hat. He's looking for the red hats first. You got a red hat. He's finding you first.
Hey, man, people are going to get upset at that joke, brother. I'm just telling you right now.
That's all right.
Actually, no, the country's all together right now. We're working together.
Yeah, absolutely. So, man, hey.
Hey, so Chris Marty, want to introduce him. This is the man from Rebate House. He kicked in and did one of the dinners for next week. So Rebate House, REBATEHAUS, fancy little German play.
It's house.
It's a house. Rebate House. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's pretty much. He's looking at us.
House.
Chris, he's looking at us like we're
House.
Yeah,
It's the U like in Saulo.
Haulo.
House.
House.
Hauso. Haulo.
Yeah. So Chris Marty's the owner of Rebate House. Dude will literally give you thousands of dollars back at the closing table for no reason other than he just wants to do business with you. So I brought clients to him.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're donating one of the dinners, bro. Talk to us.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially now, obviously, a lot of people are worried about money and funds and kind of what's going on in the world. So at Rebate House, that's what we're here to help you do. Help you purchase a home and get some money back while you do it. I mean, it's a pretty great
Bro, it's not
program.
just some money back. Dude gives back like 1.5%, 2%.
Yes,
Yeah,
average of
2%.
over $5,000.
Okay, did you hear that? So
Yes.
you do business with Rebate House, you get back an average of $5,000, and that's not like something that's added to your home or anything or your contract. That's a check you give them.
Yeah, it's the credits, different things, but yes, it's $5,000 that
On
you
average.
get on average.
You get back because you do business with this guy. I'm telling you right now, nobody in the real estate business does that. That's why the dude's the number 2 realtor in the city of San Antonio. Growing to be number 1.
Hopefully, maybe.
Family-owned business.
Yes, family-owned business. Mom, sister, wife, husband.
I don't. That added up to 4. I don't know. There's 4 of you. Hey man, to each his own, dude. When you're quarantined, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. So thank you for donating
Yes.
the dinners, Chef Jason Dady, 3 times next week. Like and share it. Check out Rebate House as well if you know somebody's looking to buy a home. Dude kills it. Chris, thank you for that.
Yes.
And then of course the illustrious. Pass that on over.
CJ Kano.
Chris Cano.
I have a J.
Chris also helped jump in with one of the dinners with us.
That's
Alliant
right.
Mortgage of Texas. He lets us film here in this wonderful facility. Chris, what's going on in the world, man? How's the mortgage world going? What are you thinking?
Wow, what is happening in the mortgage world?
don't
It
know.
depends. What time is it right now?
It is
Let me see.
3:15.
Well, I checked rates 17 seconds ago, and we are still pretty high, the highest that we've been in a while. So we're sitting right around about a 5% on a 30-year fix with somebody with good credit, where just about 45 minutes ago we were in the 3s. So, man, the market is all over the place right now. What's driving me bananas, Greg, and you probably see this as well, people are posting things that are only good for about 2 hours max. So I'm calling to you, Facebook, right now, because I know you guys are probably quarantined, but patrol realtors' pages, and if they're talking about rates, take them down.
Yeah, so important note. That's a powerful point. If somebody's telling you that rates are the lowest they've ever been, now is the time to refi. I can get you the best rate. These things are not true. They're sales tactics.
Their sales text. It's called rate bait.
Yeah. The old bait and switch, the rate bait. So be mindful when you're out there shopping. And don't forget, when you hear a lot about rates dropping, when the Fed's cutting rates, those are short-term lending rates, bank-to-bank monies. The actual rates on long-term rates like mortgages and stuff like that, they're all over the place. That's not to say you can't get a good deal right now.
Amen.
That's not to say that it's not a buyer's market or that houses aren't available out there, that people don't want to move their home now more than ever. But that's telling you that maybe you got to be careful about when you lock your rate.
You got to be careful when you lock your rate. Right now, the advice is to float your rate. So if you're out there in the market looking to buy a home, float it. And what float means is basically you can go on a contract and buy a house. You're not under the gun to go and lock in an interest rate. So if you can afford to float for the next 2 weeks, float it. They're saying that after 2 weeks, it will be a good time. We don't know where the bottom is, but we know the bond market right now isn't doing what a lot of people are thinking it's going to do.
What they thought the money was going to do.
What they thought the money was going to do. So if you're closing on a home in the next 7 days, you got to lock in the freaking rate. You got to lock it in and know that, these are the rates, and it's a good deal still, because Greg is absolutely right. In a short-term window, it's a great time to buy a home. But if you can wait 2 weeks, we should see a pullback.
So you got to think about, look, the government's coming in big. It's up to $1 trillion right now worth of incentives and package money coming into the community.
How many zeros are in trillion?
I think there's 9.
9?
No, is it 9?
6 is million, 9 is billion.
It's
12.
It's a
12.
It's a good thing we're not distance learning kids right now.
12. It's 12.
Yeah, there may be kids watching, learning right now.
Kids, if you're watching,
Yeah. Not this.
when I was at John Jay, I hung out at Fred's Fish Fry. I'm not going to lie to you. All right? I hung out across the street, and I had a raspa, and I was at Fred's Fish Fry. And I was the only one there.
Oh, Fred's fish fry was legit.
12 zeros.
Still
They,
legit.
they give you the loaf of bread.
12 zeros. See what I mean? This guy knows dollars, man.
Yeah.
Chris Marty, Rebate House. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. So wanted to get some quick thoughts in there, of course. We're all blessed to be here at Alliant Mortgage of Texas, and we're having a good time. It's a great place to be, and we're still out there doing work. We're hustling. I haven't talked a lot about it, but I'm back in the mortgage business as well. And one of the things I found here, working at Alliant Mortgage, is just a great family and place to be. So we'll talk more about that next time. I'll start launching all that, talking about what we do here as a community. What Alliant Mortgage means and how we help veterans, first responders, the whole world. But buying homes right now, buying anything, you got to keep the economy moving. I hear a lot of things and I read a lot of things that mainly most people are concerned about right now is the breakdown in the economic system is not because of a bad economic system. As a community, as a banking system, as an economic foundation, the country's always been strong. But this external force, right, is causing problems we have never seen before, and hence the uncertainty, rates all over the place. And you can get good deals, but take your time. Don't give up on it. Spend the best you can. Take care of your family and get moving.
And for those of y'all who aren't keeping up with the VA guidelines, I mean, because why would you, right? It's not the most exciting read. Right now, the VA has just put out right now an issue and a message in the VA pamphlet 26 Tax 7 for any veteran out there that is struggling with their mortgage payments. Make sure that you get a hold of your local VA lender and they can kind of walk you through that. Right now, the VA is working with Tri-Merge Credit Report Bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. To make sure that those veterans that are suffering right now from an economic crisis and they're missing their mortgage payment, that they're not going to be so quick to report those to the credit bureaus like they used to in the past. So just make sure that whatever situation you're dealing with right now as a veteran, you've worn the cloth of our nation, you've protected, and you have a VA loan, get a hold of your VA lender. If not to talk about rates, to just kind of ask the question, what do I do in this situation?
Okay, good stuff. There you go. And I hope many more lenders, and one of the best things I think we do right now is protect people. If we're giving them cash, they got to pay their bills. People out of work, unemployment near 20% potentially. We got to watch people's credit. There's a lot of things the government and business can do to help, but let's get out there and make sure we get it done. So we got some memes. We always close it out, so I'll make y'all two sit through these things. Yeah. And I'm sorry if this offends your delicate personality here in the next 5 minutes. What do we got? Put some memes up, and then I'm going to talk one more piece at the end about memes. No memes. About the contest one more time. Trump is vulgar and not presidential. The Democratic frontrunner. You're full of shh. I don't know what a dog-faced pony soldier is, but there's historical into that. Don't be a horse's ass. Listen, fat blank. I'm going to go out and slap you in the face. Those are literally Joe Biden quotes.
That's not a meme. That's a quote.
Legit.
That's a quote.
and then my vice president will be a woman. So, Biden's going for it, man. I think he's going for it. I think I'm going to enjoy seeing these two septuagenarians beating each other with a cane over their head in the presidential debates. It's going to be fantastic, man. Going to be fantastic. Next memes.
Memes, Charlie.
Hillary will attach to Biden like the face hugger in Alien. She'll be president in a month after the election. If you want to follow a crazy tweeter feed, he's a beast. James Woods is a beast. He gets elected and she pops out of his chest like the baby alien ready to take over the world. James Woods been banned many times.
Yeah.
And
that's a bit offensive.
Yes.
I don't like being called an alien. I prefer Mexican American.
No. Those are legit aliens.
Oh, for real aliens. Okay, got it. My bad.
I got to help him, man.
Sorry.
He's busy running company.
Yeah, I get offended easy too. Yeah.
Next memes. With 0% reporting, CNN projects that Joe Biden is the 46th president of the United States. I love it. True story. Man. There it is. The only problem with this meme is that Sanders isn't leading. And the fact that it's, there it is. And you had to have that one. It's just us now.
That reminds me of
smelling his hair
of the creepy sloth, that's in the ear of the memes. That was a good one. Yeah.
I'll go back to that one. Confuses wife with sister, wins Alabama. Come on, man. Come on. What's wrong? That's a genius meme right there. What's wrong with America right there? Next. Joe Biden. Why is the sloth smelling my hair? I'm turning the hat around.
This one is funny, dude.
I'm turning the hat around.
I legit thought this was real.
Okay.
I can see Golden Crown.
I'm not going to read all of it because there's a lot of bad words in it, but we're not going to bullshit you about our safety precautions because, frankly, we don't have any. Our customers fear nothing, not even death. If they did, they wouldn't be eating at Golden Corral. Didn't say the bad word. Hell, have you seen our chocolate fountain? We literally just let kids stick their filthy dirt-covered arms in that sucker. This is a great meme. Golden
Yeah.
Corral, love ya. Love ya.
Is that really the CEO? Did they use his real name?
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I had to get off it quick because it's a family
I had
based
to fact
audience. It's a
check
family
that.
best audience. Charmin ultrasound. There, of course, Joe Biden smelling the bear's hair. I love it. I love the hair smelling Joe Biden. Some places are banning gatherings of 200 people in fear of the coronavirus. Biden rallies will not be affected.
That one's bad.
That's bad. That's bad. Next. Got anything else? Divorce lawyers waiting for people to be quarantined with their spouse for weeks. Not me, babe. Not me, Annalisa Brockhouse. I'm loving it. I miss you. I like this one, although it's sad.
Sadness.
March Sadness. Look at the bottom down there. Get to know my wife is teamed up against barbecue. Yeah, tax prep, interact with my family.
I love
Vacuum
that.
does.
I love that I get to know my wife. Was ranked number 4 though, so that's good. It's up
Watch
against
TV.
number 13.
Watch TV was number 1.
Oh, man.
Ranked against yard work. Me explaining to my grandchildren how a guy eating bat soup in China led to a toilet paper shortage in the U.S. Next. That's classic. There it is. This is the great one. Republicans and Democrats. Equal opportunity offenders we are. $1,000 check. Socialism bad. That's the Republican. And the Democrat, $1,000 check. Not my president. I'm guaranteeing you both are clicking $1,000 check. Next. Bet you guys wish he was doing this now. A man ahead of his time.
Oh my gosh, I
Remember-
forgot
remember
about
when he
that,
did
bro. He got so much
He
flack
got
for
so
that.
much. Hey, go back to that. We work with a guy named Clay Burke. I think that's him right next to the president.
It looks like him a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Could be Biden.
Could be Biden. Next. Where 2 or more are gathered, but less than 10. That's a faith joke.
Oh man.
It's a Bible. It's a biblical quote. Mark Cuban says bailout companies should never be allowed to buy their stock back again ever. I wanted to show that. Hey, Mark Cuban would be an interesting president.
Oh, yeah.
That's another dude. Tells it like it is. Vice President Cuban. Is there any more left?
That's it.
All right. Okay, so here's the game. We're wrapping this sucker up because we're out of time. So like and share. I'm going to give you 1 more minute of Brockhouse thoughts so you can still like and share this. We're going to come back in an hour or two. I'll put all your names in a little hopper. We'll spin it. I'll take a drink of my coronavirus vaccine. I'll let the sloth choose the winner. And then I'll call you and message you and get you set up today on your meal next week. Do we have an interesting question we
Yes.
could ask?
We got to ask one of the most obscure CDC guidelines that we could find.
Okay, obscure CDC. Okay, so keep an eye on this. Are you ready?
What are we going to wait?
So there's 40 people that are still watching that hung it through. So this is a great question. We're going to give away one of the meals, one of the delivered meals. What should we?
You're going to wait 3.
Just we're giving away 2 dinners, 2 meals next week, 2 sets of meals. One already to the like and share. We're going to pull that out, and then the last one is a good question CDC related question. What do you think?
Who's listening?
See who's listening. All right. We will ask. Oh my goodness. Be prepared, people. Here we're lined up. The question is. Edith is now officially watching. The question is, how many days did the so I put a slide up at the beginning. Don't show it again. But how many days did the president's quarantine plan? Right, he put it up. How many days do you have to implement social quarantining, right? The social distancing, the president's plan. It was in a slide earlier, right? How many days? How many days? Who's answering?
It's a good question.
How many days
to protect from the Chinese virus?
to protect from the Chinese virus? To the Serrano family. Dina, you got to answer the question.
I'm pretty sure I know this answer. I want you to tell me if this is the right
So
number.
the president says it's a blank numbers of
Is
days.
this the right answer?
Yes, that's the right answer.
That's what I thought.
That's
how
a
many
lot of
days?
zeros.
15.
Oh, there we go.
Stephen Potter.
Stephen got it with the big
Stephen
1-5.
Potter. He got it. I think he was the first one. 15 days.
Yeah.
Stephen Potter. It was an obscure question. I just came out of nowhere. So, Stephen, direct message me. Direct message me on the broadcast, brother. Stephen Potter, direct message me. Give me your phone number. I'll call you in a little bit. I'll get all your information set up so you can enjoy those meals next week, courtesy of Rebate House, Align Mortgage, and the broadcast, man. We're killing it. We're giving away free stuff. I'm going to come live back here in about an hour. I've got some work I got to do because I got to sell some mortgages here. So I got to get back to work for a little bit. But we're going to turn around. We're going to do a drawing, and then I'll offer the other food up if you liked and shared it. We'll push it out right there. Uh-oh, Cindy. Now we got some arguments over who was first. We got the fights are coming. All right, we have to give away another one. So we'll like and share. We'll push it out there. We're going to have the drawing here in a little bit. Thank you for following the broadcast. So again, thank you to Chris Cano, Align Mortgage, for letting us use the facilities. Thank you, Chris Marty, for donating one of the dinners. And of course, thank you to you, the viewers. All right, this is the broadcast. We're a little bit crazy right now. It's all over the map and all over the place. We're doing the best we can to continue to push out information. Remember, like I said at the beginning, what are you going to learn about this as yourself, your family, your community? And at the end of all this, because it will end, and this is the greatest country on the planet. This is San Antonio. We always rebound. We come back better and stronger. The markets are going to come back. The housing market's going to be there. We're going to make money. Families are going to survive. But it's going to challenge each and every one of us. So the things you learn now, what are you going to do at the other end of it? Like, what are you going to do that's going to change you? Me? I like politics. I love governance. I do all those things. So I'm learning and watching. If I have to let people go, what are they doing from a paid sick leave perspective? What happens? How are we going to learn about those things? We got to be thankful that we can start business in our country, do things, but we got employees and people we got to think about. So how am I going to be a better politician? How am I going to be a better leader in the community? How am I going to do better in my neighborhood? All those things you need to be thinking about. So when you come out at the end of this and it's over and we change the calendar, that we turn the page, we can't just forget about it. We got to get a little bit better at who we are and how we take care of each other. So think about it. We'll be knocking that around. Prayers to our city council and our leadership, the governor, and of course our president, that make the right decisions, do the things that matter most. Keep on the news. Let us know you got questions. We love you. As always, when we wrap this bad boy out, the broadcast is officially out.